great show lined up for you. Both the Omaha Central boys and girls basketball team will be in studio. New head coach of the girls program, Nicole Mitchell, will be in at 6:30, and Bruce Chubbuck Jr. will be in with his boys at 7:30. The Queens of Class B, the Beatrice softball team, will be in studio at 7 o'clock. We're going to get to buy or sell a little bit early tonight at 6:15. For that reason, we'll give you our Pavilion Sanitation trash takes of the night. Before we send you out a winner, picking 3 games in the NFL to win you some money this weekend before we close up shop. You can get a hold of the show, 402-951-1620. You can also head over to Twitter at AfterHours1620. Don't forget to look for the GIF of our wings tonight. Follow us on Twitter, share the GIF out, and we will let you into a drawing to win a $25 gift card to Cunningham's Pub as well. Dan Campenden, after another trip around the sun, is the birthday boy yesterday, has returned to work tonight. Happy birthday, man.
Thank you very much. Also,
what just happened?
The microphone does not want to stay where I put it.
Another year older, things aren't working the way they're supposed to. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I might have to try some of those products that they advertise before baseball games.
Are you the big 3-0 now? Is this 30?
31.
31, okay. Not necessarily as much of a celebration. Well, happy birthday anyway.
Definitely not as much of a celebration. John Schreiner is avoiding me. I'm convinced that he no longer wants to do this radio show when I am in studio.
Yeah.
He has prior commitments.
Listen, I called him coward last night. I said, hey, you sat here and told everybody Indiana sucked for 2 weeks and took a week off after they embarrassed Nebraska. And he was like, listen, I still don't think they're very good. I was like, buddy, that train's left the station. They're pretty good at football.
The old ipso facto train's running really well.
Yeah, but it brings us to an interesting point in taking a look at the rest of the season, right? With UCLA, USC, Wisconsin, and Iowa still on the schedule for Nebraska, who was 0-7 in their last 7 opportunities to gain bowl eligibility, by the way. One of those games still under Scott Frost, but still 0-7 their last 7 opportunities. And I think it's a benefit to having this game on Saturday at 2:30 versus 11 a.m. Because in the aforementioned Indiana game, this team a little bit lacking in juice when we're talking about games that have the ability to not bring a noisy crowd and big time energy. And listen, we've talked about it. We talked about it since before the season started. Probably the most winnable game in the Big Ten Conference for Nebraska, and easily the most winnable game left on the schedule. And I think it's a big, big boost to Nebraska to be able to play this game at 2:30 and not 11. UCLA is averaging 17.5 points per game. Nebraska is averaging 24 points. UCLA is averaging 11.5 points per game on the road. Keep in mind, they just scored 35 points against Rutgers on the road. So if that gives you any indication about how things were going at the beginning of the season. But I think I'll caution Nebraska fans a little bit and say, Deshaun Foster may be figuring some things out. He now knows where the school's located. That's a plus. Told everybody where that's at. They're in LA, by the way.
Los Angeles.
Yeah. But
in California.
I don't think it was fair to look at what UCLA was a year ago and having a guy that was experienced as a head coach, as Chip Kelly was, and look at the performance that they had against Hawaii at the beginning of the season. Now, they were down 13-0 heading into the fourth quarter. They won that football game. That's important to remember. But point at the shortcomings that they've had this season and say that UCLA is just not very good. And here's why. Other than that Hawaii game, this is how the rest of their season has gone. They played Indiana. I don't know if you know this. Indiana is good at football, despite what John Schreiner thinks. They had to go to LSU. They had to go, Oregon came to UCLA. They had to go to Penn State, and they played Minnesota and Rutgers since then. That's not that easy of a slate. That's a pretty tough schedule. You've played 4 teams that have been in the top 10 this season. And 3 of them are probably still playoff contenders in Indiana, Oregon, and Penn State. I'm out on LSU. I think LSU's shot at a college football playoff appearance is dead after Saturday. But I think Minnesota's a lot better than people thought they were going to be too. And UCLA had a chance to win that game. Now, UCLA has been a much different team at home. Other than that Indiana game, they've played pretty well in LA. And I caution people who are ready to say, and I said, listen, and I know I was this guy last night. I said like they win by 3 scores. If that doesn't happen and Nebraska still wins this game, I don't think it's break glass, push the panic button time, because this is a very, very battle-tested team that's coming into Lincoln on Saturday. Do I think Nebraska is a better team? I do. Do I think Nebraska has more talent? I do. Do I think Nebraska has the better coach? I do. With that being said, UCLA has faced a much more difficult schedule at this point in the season than Nebraska has, and I don't even think it's close.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, I've had a lot of time just to like think about UCLA in general.
So what happens when you get a night off?
I worry a lot more about their big game experience that they've had as compared to Nebraska up to this point. Ohio State was a great measuring stick
Sure.
for
And it's in Lincoln.
what
The game
could
on Saturday is
and
in
what
Lincoln.
couldn't be. But the only thing I worry about is who is going to show up for Nebraska.
Yeah.
Is it going to be multiple screen passes, no downfield blocking Nebraska? Or is it going to be high flying wide receivers getting open Nebraska?
More than that, I'm more worried about the health of Dylan Raiola's ankle. And because I think there's a little bit more than they're leading on. I don't think he's less than 80%, which at this point of the season, most of America isn't.
Yeah.
But I think that's a lot of the reason we haven't seen the downfield passing that we saw at the end of the Ohio State game, because it just felt like it was working. So they were sticking with it, whether Dylan could do it or not. And they were perfectly fine with Dylan just kind of chucking it down there just to try to establish the run game. And that opened up some things. And if you're gonna knock Marcus Satterfield for some of his consistencies this year about swing passes and screen passes, and I think there's merit there. I think he deserves some flack and some merit or some repercussions for that. But you also have to take a little bit of you got to give him a little bit of kudos, because he's been able to take things from every game. So a lot of the stuff that you saw that was very successful against Ohio State on Saturday, Indiana ran the week prior, and we hadn't necessarily seen that repped in to the offense. Now, that's a negative thing for a lot of reasons. That means they weren't repping a lot of the stuff earlier in the season that's working now either.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a double-edged sword at that point. But I think the one thing Marcus Satterfield has been able to do is adapt and change. And I think I will be I'm going to set the over-under at 1.5 for screen passes on Saturday. And I'm taking the under because they're probably going to have a conversation with Dylan Raiola, because 2 of the 8, because there was 8 combined swing or screen passes, were clearly checked to by Dylan Raiola. There was clearly notice of hand signals and stoppage of play and switching up by the quarterback. And Matt Rule talked about that on Monday and said that he didn't say Dylan did it, but he said Dylan has the ability to do so. And it was pretty apparent at least twice that happened. So the problem is they ran combined 8 swing or screen passes for a net gain of 7 yards.
Yeah.
That's not good.
No, and it's one of those things that with the comments that we heard after the Indiana game about downfield blocking from the receivers, and then we're going to swing passes in the clutch, it got a little bit out of hand in my mind. But I will say, 10-2 is out of the window now.
You were wrong,
so
Dan.
Dan is officially wrong. But the one thing I feel that I can pat myself on the back for,
don't hurt yourself,
is I have said all year that this will be a resilient team, and that Matt Rule will take the brunt of the responsibility, as he has done every other day since he has stepped into that front office in Nebraska.
Yeah, and I think the most intriguing comment made all week, and Tony White had some really good ones. We're going to talk about that later in the show and probably get into it a little more on Friday when John's back. But the most interesting comment to me that was made by Matt Rule all week was when he was asked about Dylan's downfield throwing ability. He brought up how many pass interference penalties he's been able to draw by doing that. And that alone has been one of the main reasons you've seen the explosion of the forward pass. It's the growth in quarterback play and the 7-on-7 phenomenon and guys that have just been better at throwing the ball downfield. But there's also the benefit of gaining an additional 15 yards, because referees, unless you're wearing a red colored jersey, are prone to throwing flags against other teams for holding you or being or interfere with you, trying to make a catch. And the fact that this coaching staff is talking about that outwardly tells me, hey, we've got a quarterback with a big boy arm. It's going to start getting windy soon, and there's probably going to be a little more difficulty playing balls. So we might be able to get a couple more penalties into the wind too. So it's not necessarily always a negative thing that we're throwing into the wind.
Yeah, and I mean, especially on Saturday, we got the utmost privilege of getting to see Dylan Raiola place a lot of balls where you want to see them placed.
He missed 2. He missed 2 big ones, though.
He missed 2 big ones, but I think he will get those back eventually.
There's
not this year, maybe next year, maybe the year after that. Definitely not by the time he's a senior, because by the time he's a senior, he's no longer going to be at Nebraska.
Couple of interesting things.
He's going to have 3 letters in front of his name. NFL QB.
On Saturday, the high is 62, and there's a 30% chance of rain. And I really wonder how much Nebraska's offense changes with precipitation, because it feels like every year in the Wisconsin game, and it does not matter if it's in Madison or if it's in Lincoln, there's rain in the forecast and it gets a little wet. And I'm really intrigued because we've been pretty blessed. They haven't had to play in a lot of rough weather from a wind standpoint, from precipitation standpoint. So I'm going to be interested if it does rain either before the game, because I think it will before 2:30. I don't think it'll rain during the game. How Nebraska chooses to handle that aspect of it, because they clearly want to be able to push the ball downfield, but they also still want to establish the running game to kind of set the tone. So it's going to be interesting to see how they handle that. If you missed the opening segment or breakdown of the schedule ahead of for Nebraska, check it out at soundcloud.com/afterhours1620. It was brought to you by Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. I've been telling you about Controlled Comfort for a couple of months now. They saved my hide. They can save yours as well. They are the go-to in an emergency situation. They can come out and take care and diagnose a problem, whether it's with your AC or with your furnace, and they can fix it right away. But they're also a long-term solution as well. Head over to controlledcomfort.com. Sign yourself up for their maintenance plan. They're going to come out and take a look at your HVAC unit, whether it be your furnace or your AC. Make sure they're both working in prime condition and get them ready for the winter months. Head over to controlledcomfort.com and book an estimate tonight. We'll be right back, buying or selling the other side of the break here on 1620 The Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. We're just a week and a half away from tip-off for the Creighton Blue Jays. So if you haven't gone over to 78th and Dodge and been to Jerry Ryan to grab your Mizzen and Main, Johnny O, or Peter Millar polos, they're great sports shirts. They don't stretch too much. They're great in the wash. They're going to come out the same way you put it in. It's Johnny O, Peter Millar, and Mizzen and Main, and it's all the options in Husker Red and Creighton Blue. And yes, they've got Billy Blue Jay and the Block N embroidered on all the shirts. Stop by 78th and Dodge. Tell John and Dan, the crew, that we sent you. Be the best dressed J Sker in town. Welcome back inside the After Hours Lounge on a Wednesday night, brought to you by Bellevue University. You can keep up to date on all things Bellevue Athletics by downloading the BU Bruins app to your smartphone tonight. We're going to get to buy or sell a little bit early because the Omaha Central girls basketball team, their new head coach, Nicole Mitchell, is going to join us at 6:30. So, Dan, let's get to buy or sell.
Jimmy, the Dodgers kind of sold out to get to Game 5 tonight in the Bronx. Buy or sell, the Yankees can pull off the ultimate comeback and win the World Series.
I don't think it's going to happen. And I got a bad feeling. Listen, I know Garrett Cole's on the mound tonight. The Yankees are throwing their ace. I got a bad feeling about tonight. I actually think the World Series comes to an end in 5 games in New York for the bad guys. And I think the Dodgers win the tinfoil cup tonight.
So I disagree with you only on one point. I think the Yankees are going to win tonight. Dodgers take it back to LA and win one at home. Dodgers probably in 6. I have a feeling
hey, Joe Torre up on the screen. Man's looking old.
The city of New York is rather galvanized today, and they're all overly excited about the fact that they have a World Series in their home stadium once again, as evidenced by
last night
a man ripping a ball out of a glove. So Dodgers in 6.
Get out of the stands, Mookie Betts.
Moving on, Drake May is 0-2 in his starts. The Patriots pull off a win over the Jets on the arm of Jacoby Brissett. Drake May is in concussion protocol now. Buy or sell that the Patriots should finish the season out with Brissett.
I buy. And this is not me hating on Drake May like I've been prone to do in my lifetime. Anybody that's ever listened to the show knows that I've been all out on Drake May even when he was at North Carolina. I didn't buy the hype then. I don't buy the hype now, but it's more to do with the fact that, listen, that Patriots offensive line is bad. And if Drake May is ever going to be successful, it's going to have to be next season or thereafter after they get some improvements to that offensive line. Because what they have right now in Foxborough, I don't know if Tom Brady could come back and be successful. So listen, if you can get a win in division with Jacoby Brissett, that's probably the best you can hope for right now, right? So I'm riding the Jacoby Brissett train for the rest of the season.
Yeah, as you've said so many times before, Jimmy,
Drake May sucks.
I was going to say Drake May is the best quarterback that we've ever seen with our own 2 eyes. So obviously they should stick with Jacoby Brissett. If you've got a winner, you got to play the winner. And you illustrated it already perfectly. The Patriots are so bad right now.
Yeah, that offensive line. That might be the worst offensive line in the NFL.
Why would Carolina,
you want to close second?
Chuck Drake May in there and just watch him get blown up every single night? Moving on to question number 3. UEFA has pledged $1.8 billion, yes, billion with a B, dollars to help grow women's soccer internationally. Buy or sell that is what this sport needs.
It is. And it's not necessarily the money. The money's going to help. It's going to help tremendously. But this is great for the entire world. When we've seen women's sports kind of put on the back burner in other parts of the world, like the fact that the force in soccer is willing to tell the world, no, it's time to be progressive and move on. And we need to give women a bigger stage. Look at the success that they're having in America. Look at the success that they're having in Europe. Look at the eyes that they're putting on the product in the Asian countries. Like the World Cup, the Women's World Cup is drawing eyes, it's drawing attention, and women's sports is at a fever pitch right now. And I think Caitlin Clark has a lot to do with it, but Caitlin Clark at the right time has helped as well. And it feels like the world is ready for this. And I think a lot of people are going to point at Caitlin Clark and the Caitlin Clark phenomenon and say, look what she did. And to some degree, I think she deserves that. But the timing in which she's coming into this fever pitch is probably very helpful. And the fact that you have a built-in natural rivalry because of what happened in college with Angel Reese, it gives people sides to choose between. And that will always, always help sports.
Yeah. Like we've said on this show before, rising tides raise all ships. And if the governing body of your sport wants to say, hey, we're going to throttle a bunch of money into your sport to promote it internationally, I see no reason why this isn't a great thing for the sport. This is exactly what they need too.
Because I don't know how it could be anything other than a great thing.
The Women's World Cup is second in great sporting events only to the Men's World Cup. And it's not that far of a second, especially if you're living in the country that we like to call the United States of America. And plus, with the kind of popularity that athletes now have across social media and across all platforms, just in general, it seems like this is what we need to grow the game as much as we possibly can.
I agree.
Plus, John Schreiner will love it.
We're going to go ahead and wrap up Buy or Sell here. If you missed any of it, check it out at soundcloud.com/after-hours-1620. It was brought to you by our friends at 402 Barbecue. You stop by 84th and Spring Monday through Saturday from 11 to 6. Try mine and John's personal favorites, the Cadillac Sandwich. It's brisket, it's pork, it's topped off with the world-famous smoked mac and cheese. Make sure you mention to Kelly and the team you heard about them on After Hours. She's going to throw in a soda with the purchase and the mention of our show. It's 402 Barbecue. Stop by 84th and Spring and grab lunch tomorrow. We'll be right back. Catch up with the new head coach at Omaha Central on the girls basketball team. It's Nicole Mitchell, and she brought her players in the studio. We're going to talk to the Eagles at 6:30 when we come back here on 1620 The Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Bob Williams with Williams Law. You know, summertime's coming to a close. We all know somebody that got after it a little bit too hard in the summer and probably racked up a DUI, made a bad decision, and got behind the wheel after drinking. It's not smart. It's dangerous, and it's just not worth it. But if you or somebody you know is facing a DUI charge, head over to WilliamsLawLLC.com and help walk you through the process and explain your rights. Bob and his team will sit you down, tell you what you're dealing with, and how you can handle the situation. All you got to do is head to WilliamsLawLLC.com, get a free, no obligation legal consultation tonight. It's 6:28 on a Wednesday edition of the After Hours Lounge, brought to you by Bellevue University. Download the BU Bruins app to your smartphone tonight. Keep up to date on all things Bellevue athletics. There's a new head coach at Omaha Central on the girls basketball program. Her name is Nicole Mitchell, and she joins us in studio with Alea Davis, Karis Dawson, and Jada Jackson. Ladies, thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Coach, do me a favor, take one step forward real quick. There you go. Why was it the right time to take this job at Omaha Central?
Again, thank you for having us. My first coaching job was at the Boys and Girls Club of Omaha, and I coached with Dave Felici, and we coach participants who's in the 3rd through 8th grade. And I really enjoyed the experience, and so coaching actually became a future dream of mine.
It's addictive, right?
Yeah, it's very addicting. And so because of that experience, I really just wanted to be a coach, and I'm just blessed and honored to have the opportunity to serve as the girls' head coach for the Central High girls basketball team.
So I grew up going to South Omaha Boys and Girls Club 150 years ago. What is it about that program that just keeps communities going, keeps kids coming back to it?
Well, it's that. It keeps kids coming, and it keeps community aspect into it. And just to be able to develop kids who may have never played, or kids who have a dream to aspire to play, just really developing kids to play basketball, and then just exposing them for the first time to the game of basketball.
Sure.
It's just something that I love to do.
Anytime you take a job, doesn't matter what it is, there's some hurdles in the way. What's easier about this job today than when you first took it?
So what's easier about this job today is just making sure that we have clarity between managing, teaching, and then coaching to win has become our motto. So all of our daily experience and daily activities are centered around that model, around that particular mission and equation. And at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we are strengthening every aspect that prepares us to win.
When there's obviously things that each team's going to get better at throughout the year, and that they need to improve on. What is better about this team today than at the beginning of the start of camp?
So we focus a lot on team building, and we take advantage of our diverse strength. Each one of us, from the girls to the coaching staff, brings something unique to the team. And so we want to make sure that we are capitalizing on each aspect of our strength.
What is something that this team is needs to get better by the end of the season at, in your opinion?
So again, focusing on our individual aspects of managing, which may be our time, teaching, where we teach each other and we learn from each other, and then coaching aspect is where I look at those techniques that maybe we can maximize, and then be able to cultivate those to equate to us winning. So coaching, teaching, and then managing those aspects to prepare us to win.
This team made a run to the state tournament a year ago. How much does that help this team that you inherited be successful this year?
Whew. So we focus again on that team aspect, the team building aspect, making sure that we are building that aspect of winning, and doing those things through, again, the coaching,
Yeah, sure.
the teaching.
Who are some of your assistants that are helping make that happen?
So some of our assistants, we have a Sharnita Arnold. She played at
Yep.
the University of Arizona, so she brings a lot of strength and a lot of diversity and that next level. And then we also have some coaching staff that has been previously on the staff, so they bring the knowledge and experience that we have already to the team.
Well, Coach, congratulations on taking this job when you did. Let's talk to a few of your players now.
All
Alea
right.
Davis joins us at Studio Alea for you. You wear number 3 for your AAU squad. You wear number 3 when you're in an Eagles jersey. Why number 3?
So I wear number 3 because it's a remarkable number. It stands for my grandma's birth date, like month, and then as well as her death month, unfortunately.
I'm sorry to hear that, but that's very cool that you honor her in that way. Scoring, playing defense, or distributing the basketball, where do you think you've improved the most from a year ago, and where do you think you need to improve the most before the end of the season?
I feel like I've improved the most by analyzing the floor and being able to take my open opportunities. And then something I want to improve on is being able to take tough shots. And then on the other side of things, being able to fight through adversity, keeping my composure, and making sure my team stays together.
Where do you think is the toughest shot on the court for you right now? Mid range, outside?
Yeah,
Down the
probably
paint?
like a mid range.
That doesn't get any easier. That's the hardest shot in basketball.
Yeah.
This is your last year of high school. What's your plan for basketball after you're done at Central?
I want to go to college and play, further my career, and then possibly after college go to the pros overseas or something.
The dream school would be?
GSW, Georgia Southwestern.
Okay. Why?
Just like the atmosphere that I like, my research that I did, and it looked like a good atmosphere. Team solid.
Away from Nebraska?
Yeah, far. Definitely far.
You were one of the homecoming court members this year. What was that experience like? Would you do it again?
Yeah, it was a good experience. I would do it again. Like, I like to compete.
Sure.
I'm a competitive person, so like campaigning and competing against other participants was fun. So yeah.
Well, thank you for being here tonight. Congratulations on all the success and good luck this winter. We'll go over to Karis Dawson, who joins us in studio tonight. Karis, for you, you have no problem sharing and giving some love to your teammates on social media. Anytime somebody gets an offer or does something, that you're out there promoting them. Why is that such a big deal for you, and why is this group so close?
Well, I feel like since we've been playing the last 4 years together, both in AAU and high school, we've created a bond and connection that not a lot of other teams have, and it's really special. And I consider these girls my family. Like, if you see me, you'll probably see one of them, and I feel like that's something, of course, a lot of teams don't have.
Is Carice the worst way somebody's butchered your name?
Probably.
Okay. What is the part of your game that you think will stand out this season that maybe didn't a year ago?
I'd probably say my confidence. I've always lacked in that, and over the summer I worked on that, and I know myself, I can already see a huge difference, and I hear that from everybody around me. So
the recruiting process for you is picking up as well. The offer came in from College of St. Mary's and Highland. How much have you enjoyed the recruiting process up to this point, and when do you plan on making your decision?
I've enjoyed it a lot, actually. Being able to see all my siblings go through it kind of helped me understand and know what was to be expected. But being able to go through it myself was very surreal, and it's just very enjoyable. And decision wise, I'll probably make it towards the end of season or after, but it just depends how the season goes.
Do you think that helps being able to see your siblings go through the process at all? Because I mean, obviously, everybody's journey is different, right?
Yeah, definitely. I was able to go to them for advice throughout everything from when the first college coach texted me on how to respond. So it was just helpful having all the advice throughout
Okay.
the process.
I have to ask then, what's the best piece of advice you got? What's the worst piece of advice? You don't have to say from which one.
The best would probably just be to be yourself.
Yeah.
Like, don't fake it of how you are and be natural. And the worst would probably I don't know. They give a lot of
It hasn't been a bad one? Okay, that's a good answer too. We talked about it with Coach. What would it mean for this team to get back to Lincoln and compete for another state championship?
Well, I feel like every high school player, the goal is to want to win state or at least get to state, which are both huge accomplishments. But I feel like us making it to state last year and not winning it, that definitely hurt us and made a different type of pain. So obviously the goal this year is to win state.
Well, thank you very much for being here. Good luck in the recruiting process and good luck this winter. Jada, we'll go over to you. Jada Jackson joins us in studio as well. You're one of the best defenders in the state a year ago. How does your role change on this team this year as a senior?
I feel like this year as a senior, I mean, I'm still going to bring defense, of course, and then also more so on the offense, so bringing it to both sides of the court because I didn't really get that chance for my last 3 years. So hopefully this year we see more of me on both ends of the court and not just.
Absolutely. Well, you just mentioned this is your last year at Central. Yeah. What does life after Central look like for you?
Really college, hopefully playing, and
I'll ask you.
College, really.
I'll ask you. The dream school would be
Florida A&M.
Okay. Everybody's looking for warmer weather. Yeah. How much does this senior class talk about legacy? And I mean, when you go to a school with the history that Omaha Central has across all sports, there's obviously a ton of history over there on 25th and Dodge. And what do you guys want your legacy to be for the 2025 class at Omaha Central?
I feel like mainly just like our impact on Omaha, really, because I feel like everybody is always looking at Central and like just
you guys are at the heart.
Yeah, just like I don't even know how to explain it, but really just have the impression of like we can do whatever. Really,
is that a thing? Does it feel like when you put that jersey on, you're putting it on for the entire city?
Yeah, it really does. I feel like
I got a unanimous 4 nods, by the way. Sure.
Yeah.
What you kind of talked about it a little bit offensively. What are some of the personal goals you've set for yourself this year?
Really to be more on offense as well, to show my skills, and then
Coach, you listening?
And just really to like uplift our team. I feel like we haven't really had that as much, but just to uplift our team and get to state, really.
Well, Jada, thanks for being here tonight. We greatly appreciate it. Coach, we'll go back over to you to wrap this up. We're talking to the Omaha Central girls basketball team. Their new head coach, Nicole Mitchell, and her players have joined us in studio. Coach, what does this team have to do to get back to state this year?
So we will return back to state.
Okay.
And as we return back to state, we'll have a clear focus on we will win instead of I will win.
Okay. Is that a big deal right now?
That's a huge deal right now.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the job, and thank you for bringing the girls in tonight and being here. If you missed the Omaha Central girls basketball interview tonight, check it out at soundcloud.com/afterhours1620. Was brought to you by Cunningham's Pub. It's a Wing Wednesday. And if you head over to our Twitter page at afterhours1620 and follow us, follow Cunningham's, retweet the gift for our wings. We're going to tune into a drawing to win a $25 gift card to Cunningham's tonight. It's either one of their great locations, either out on Old Mill Road or down in the historic Blackstone District. We'll be right back. We got some bonus guests in studio. We're talking to the Plattsmouth girls basketball team on the other side of the break. We come back here on 1620 The Zone. You don't need Ice Cube to tell you that it's a good day. You can have a good day at Forsman's Finest Decks. All you got to do is head over to forsmansfinest.com. Have your dream deck built in 2025. If it's not just a deck you're looking for, maybe you're looking for a 3-seasons room. Travis and crew can build that for you, too. You can enjoy the outdoor space when the colder months get here with a 3-season room, courtesy of Forsman's Finest Decks. Head over to forsmansfinest.com and have your dream deck built in 2025. Live radio is a beautiful thing, folks. This is the After Hours Lounge. We're brought to you by Bellevue University. You can keep up to date on all things Bellevue athletics by downloading the BU Bruins app to your smartphone tonight. Justin Whiting, the head coach of the girls basketball program at Plattsmouth, is joining us in the studio. He's brought Avery Winters and Mila Warbine with him tonight. Coach, thanks for being here.
Yeah, absolutely.
This
Thanks
was
for having us.
well planned out. We all knew this was happening, and we clearly aren't surprised by this at all, but I'm happy you're here regardless.
Yeah, we're on the same page. Absolutely.
Coach, we appreciate your flexibility, and thank you for making this happen tonight. When we talk about heading in to year 2 of your program, what is different about year 2 than it was in year 1?
I think almost like a player, from a coaching standpoint, things slow down a little bit. There's a lot of things that it's easier to catch some things. It's easier to, see those things, happening maybe before they get there rather than kind of being surprised by it.
Sure.
Over and over. So, so I think that's probably just to compare it to the players' experience. And I think there's just a chance to get to know the players a little bit better. I think that matters, and just kind of who they are, what drives them, what motivates them. It just, a lot of things are a little bit smoother the second year in.
You get a ton of players back too, and I'm sure that doesn't hurt.
Yeah, it helps a lot. A lot of juniors and seniors that have had experience, a little bit of experience in the sophomore class, and overall we have a good sized team that's so we should be able to field 3 teams, which is
that a rarity?
Well, it seems like it
Sure.
right now. There seems like numbers in girls basketball have gone down, and sometimes they'll be the night before they'll call up and say, hey, we can't play a reserve game, we can't play a JV game because we have 2 girls sick or 2 girls hurt. And we've been blessed. We have we're going to have around 30 girls playing basketball, so it's going to be
that's awesome.
Pretty easy to have 3 teams, and we just want to make sure we can get as many games in as possible, because I hate having those girls sitting for 3 weeks without a game. But sometimes that's the way it happens. So,
well, we kind of talked about it a little bit off air. I could probably name about 600 people, because Plattsmouth is such a tight knit community. What's your tie to Plattsmouth?
Well, we've been in Plattsmouth since 2004, my wife and I, and so our kids have all been in school there. And so I guess we're 20 years in.
Sure.
Plattsmouth. My wife is from Plattsmouth, so so we have some history there. And it's a great small town, a nice community, just close enough to Omaha, but still away.
And that's an interesting part of it, right? Because you have this metro area that is 30 minutes away, but it is still very secluded. And how do you feel like the game of basketball, whether it be in the boys or girls, you talked about the numbers that you have coming out this year, has really grown in 2 years? Or what do you attribute that to?
Well, I think there was a lot of interest. There was good coaching for the youth basketball. There was a lot of interest, and maybe there's maybe 10 girls or 12 girls that played basketball in some of those classes coming through. So that made a big difference for the team as they've matured and got a little bit older. So I think that's a big part of it, is trying to figure out the youth program and trying to figure out, how to get interest and make it available. And, really from my perspective, just try to make sure that, as kids develop, they have an opportunity to play, because kids develop at different levels. And
Absolutely.
Sometimes you worry that a kid that doesn't play basketball in 4th grade then decides they're not on the basketball team, or they're not basketball team material
because they don't want to play 90 games in a summer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Or they saw someone that did, and they think, well, they've got to be so much better than me because they played that many games.
Sure.
When maybe that kid develops and would be a great basketball player. So you want to give opportunities for kids like that to plug in, and that's what we're trying to figure out now. And both on the boys and girls side. How many
of the girls that you guys have that are either going to contribute to freshman, JV, or varsity are picking up a basketball for the first time when they get to high school?
I think we only have probably 3.
Wow. Okay.
On that on the roster, and so that's that's a good thing. And the girls work hard, and I think there's a desire to compete and a desire to play together well, and they do a really good job of that.
Well, let's talk to one of those players that competes really hard. It's Mila Warbine, who joins us in studio. Heading into your senior year, you're going to be a shooting guard on this team. How much has your previous 3 years of playing at the varsity level helped you kind of grow into your role this season?
I think it just helps you grow a lot of confidence and just know your teammates even better. When I think we're a good group of girls and we know how we play, and so just growing confidence in the game and just decision-making skills, I think, get a lot more efficient.
What's something you've seen about your game heading into your senior season that's improved from a year ago?
kind of like what I said before, but like confidence, I think changes the game a lot. Just like driving, I think gets a lot better with confidence and just understanding the game more and just being more intelligent about decisions I make. I think has improved a lot. So.
Coach alluded to it. You guys have a ton of upperclassmen, whether it be juniors or seniors. How close is this group of seniors on this team?
I think we're pretty close. I feel like we've played together since middle school, and most of us actually all of elementary. And so I think we're a good group of girls, and we love playing with each other. And so we know how we play. And so,
do you have the
this
ability
season's
to
exciting.
appreciate how cool and unique that is, though? Like, there's not too many groups that get the ability to go from such a young age all the way up through high school and get all that playing time together.
Yeah, for sure. Especially like the classes before us, they've only had a few seniors, so seeing us all together, I think, is really encouraging.
You're
this season.
you're obviously in your last year at Plattsmouth. What are your plans for after high school?
I'm gonna attend a 4-year college. I'm gonna plan to major in interior design, but not for sure where yet.
Is there any interest in continuing your athletic career?
I think probably track, if anything.
Sure.
But
What do you run in track?
1 in 300 hurdles mainly, and then some relays. So.
What's your goals personally on the basketball court and on the track this year?
I think qualify for state, obviously, for
Sure.
basketball. I think we have a lot of potential there. It's a hard schedule, but we just need to work together and play well. And then track, similar. I think I have a chance to medal at state if I run well. So just executing that throughout the whole season more this year in some of those races. So.
The dream college would be?
I would love to run at Nebraska.
Sure.
So,
okay.
I don't know.
Well, good luck with that. And congratulations on all the success.
Thank
and
you.
good luck this winter. Speaking of winter, we'll go over to Avery when she joins us in studio. You're also going to be a senior on this team this year. You're going to be at the point. What is better about this offense heading into this season than it was a year ago?
We just have a lot of like where you can do your own thing, like in creativity. So it's like really up to whoever has the ball to make room and do whatever they want. So it's a lot of like.
Here, yep, stay right in front of the mic. There you go.
Like lenience, I guess, but in a good way.
Sure. For you, what's more fun heading into the season, shooting the basketball or getting other players involved?
I'd say getting other players, but also shooting. It's like a mixture of both.
Sure. Is there any part of your defense that's improved from a year ago, and is there anything about your defense you want to improve on before the season starts?
I feel like I've definitely like understood more, like, and learned like, oh, they're gonna do this, and catching on, like, especially like when I'm out on the bench, like I can read it more. So I think that's definitely improved, but definitely like agility and speed. That's definitely could use some more.
This is your like 600th year at Plattsmouth at this point. I feel like we've talked to you 100 times about a bunch of different things. What has been the most fun experience of being a multi-sport athlete at Plattsmouth and being able to be in this community?
Just the like relationships that you get and like you build off of them. So like going from one year to another or one sport to different, it's like the same people. So you get really close and then you work better together.
What sports are you doing other than basketball this season?
This year I'm just doing basketball, but in the past I've done softball and volleyball.
Okay. Any particular reason you dialed back for your senior year?
I just wasn't having fun with volleyball and
Sure.
wanted to focus on basketball.
We mentioned it. It's your last year at Plattsmouth. What's the plan after high school?
I want to go on and play basketball somewhere. Don't know whether it's a 2 or 4 year.
Sure.
And then I want to major in pre-dentistry or dental hygiene.
The dream school is?
I don't really have one.
Okay.
Anywhere.
Is it just because you want to find out where the best dentist program is at? For sure.
Yeah.
That's a smart choice. What is something that you want to do and accomplish this year on the basketball court?
Like starting off small, like, and then working bigger. Definitely having a winning season, and then end up going to a state championship, like tournament game.
Well, Avery, we appreciate it. Thank you for being here tonight. Coach, we'll go back over to you to wrap this up. We're catching up with Justin Whiting, the head girls basketball coach at Plattsmouth High School here, who joins us on After Hours. When we talk about taking a team that didn't make it to state a year ago and your seniors to talk about ambitions of getting there, how do you manage expectations and also keep the goal in front of them as the season goes along?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the primary thing is just making sure that we know the challenge, day in and day out, and what that next game brings, and what that team's setup is, and how we can compete that night. Let's get through that night and get to the next night. And I think just keeping the focus on that next step is going to be key. These girls are competitors. They have drive and will, and I think and a desire to win. I think we can get that focused and all head in the same direction. I think that's going to be key, and not losing focus on the next game.
We all know it takes more than one coach and one player. Who are some of your assistants that kind of help make this thing go?
Yeah, absolutely. So Dan Oatman's been an assistant at Plattsmouth for a lot of years, and Dan is our head JV coach and my assistant, and does a great job. He's gifted in areas that I'm not gifted in, which is
It's important.
it's key.
Yeah.
It's absolutely key, and so thankful for that. And we have a new reserve coach, Deanna George, who has college experience. Just a great defender, and I think what she brings to the program is going to be really, really nice. She's going to be able to teach some key, some of the finite points
Sure.
that are going to allow us to become a better defensive basketball team. And of course, from my perspective, defense creates offense. So, that's a good thing.
This team can get to state this year if what happens.
Yeah.
We only ask the tough questions on the show.
Right. No, right. Yeah. I think this is definitely a team that can do that. It's going to take improvements. We can't have a midseason lull. We can't let Christmas and that time. I love Christmas. Don't get me wrong, but we can't let that time.
Why do you hate Santa Claus? No, I'm just kidding.
only the easy question.
Yeah.
Right? But I think we can't have that midseason lull. We gotta fight through that and just continue to get better each game during that time. I think that's going to be key. Hit January running and don't get complacent. Basketball's a long season, so
famously a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, that's right. So we gotta keep our focus day in and day out. And I think if we do that, we're going to have a good shot to do some fun things.
Well, Coach, I'm really glad we were able to get this very well planned out segment in tonight. Thank you very much for being here. That's the head coach of the girls basketball program, Justin Whiting, down at Plattsmouth. If you missed the Blue Devils segment tonight, you can check it out at soundcloud.com/afterhours1620. It was brought to you by our friends at Pixel Fire Marketing. If your business could benefit from online marketing, maybe you have a website that doesn't exist yet, they can build one and design a logo for you all along the way. Head over to pixelfiremarketing.com and get their social media experts to ignite your social media presence online tonight. Check out pixelfiremarketing.com for more details tonight. We'll be right back. Speaking of state champions, we're catching up with one. We're going to catch up with the Beatrice softball team on the other side of the break. Be on 1620 Zone. Hey, but it's Jimmy Allen here for AX Plumbing. I've been telling you over the last couple of months, I've had some serious plumbing issues go wrong at my house, and Nick Betts and his crew have been able to come out in a drop of a dime and fix our issues. We just had a urinal at our business backup. They were able to fix that, and we have not had that issue since. We had some tree roots. They were able to come out and pull those out as well, and we just had a wax ring break around our toilet, and they fixed that as well, and they did it all in the same day. Head over to axpservice.com to get all of your long-term plumbing issues fixed. It's AX Plumbing, at axpservice.com tonight. Top of the second hour on 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. Over a decade of being the number one roofer in Omaha doesn't happen by accident. Check out pyramidroof.com and book a free estimate today. The Queens of Class B, the Beatrice softball team, joins us in studio tonight. Layla Boyko, Sadie Harris, and Callie Schwizu is with us tonight. We'll start off with Layla. First of all, congratulations. You're a state champion. Highlight of your high school career at this point?
Yes, it really is.
Walk us through the walk-off moment, because Tatum hits that grounder up the middle. What's the reaction in the dugout?
Everybody just froze for a second because it was so.
Is this
surreal.
real? Yeah.
That's what we were all just like. Did that just happen? And we all just paused for a second. We all just looked at each other and we were like, it happened. And we all just ran out.
A lot of it was on your arm. You pitched a gem in the championship game, a shutout, back-to-back great performances from the pitchers and the defense, back-to-back shutouts. How were you feeling heading into that game as far as from a confidence level of being in the circle?
So I had a lot of people text me telling me like you're gonna be nervous, but like just shake it off. And honestly, I wasn't nervous at all. I was just thinking about just another game. I played this game since I was really little, so
College field, no big deal, right?
yeah, no big deal. Huge field, but I just kind of kept my composure. Honestly, right when I stepped out there, I was like, "This is different." But
Did you get any good advice? Is it just all you? This is all you?
It's all just
Okay,
me.
Sure. Hey, you get one more crack at this thing. You're just a junior. You're
Yeah,
gonna be
just a junior.
you're gonna be a senior next year. Have you had a chance to think about next season at all, or have you just been enjoying this one too much?
Honestly, just been enjoying this one. Honestly, I just know that we're gonna come back out. It's basically the same girls for next year, so gonna be the same thing. Just working really hard in the summertime.
Is there anything you felt like that you were better at, that you personally, that you were better at this year than you were a year ago? And
Definitely a better leader.
What's something you would like to improve on next year?
So this year, definitely I've been a lot better leader. Being able to hold myself accountable a lot better this year, and I've been a lot better like mentally this year. But
why do you think that is? Just a year older helps.
I just knew last year I did good, but like my freshman year, like I had like Callie's sister, Riley Schizo. I had her as a really good role model, and I knew I wanted to be just like her. So this year, yeah, I stepped it up a lot.
Did Riley win a state championship? Oh, you're going to throw that in her face, huh? Sorry.
She did.
Sorry, Riley. Have you had any chance to think about what life after high school looks like? Obviously, you got a whole nother year to get to, and there's a lot more to come before that. But have you thought about life after high school, and if you'd like to continue to play softball at the next level?
Yeah, I definitely want to continue my softball career. And yeah, definitely go to college for softball.
Do you play any other sports at Beatrice?
I don't. Not right now.
You said that with a giant grin on your face. Is it nice having some free time?
Yes. It really
is that why?
Yes.
Well, good luck next season. Congratulations on all the success, and thank you for being here. Sadie, we'll go over to you for a minute. Sadie Harris joins us in studio. We talked to Layla about her time in the circle, but you guys had a great defensive weekend as well. You had a huge play in that tag out in the fourth inning. Why was this defense beyond Layla so good in your opinion?
I think it's because we're such a good young team, and working together is just like a big thing for all of us. It's just like being a team and working as a team. I couldn't help but notice the entire time Layla was talking, you guys were both smiling as well. This group feels really close. Why is this group so close? Because all the juniors and all the sophomores just get along just very, very well. We all understand each other and how like we all play with each other. Which sophomores don't you like? You don't have to answer that. I'm totally kidding. I'm sorry. It's been 21 years since Beatrice won a state championship. What does that mean to you? It means a lot. Coming from that long of time, it's probably very surprising to other people, and it was very surprising, I bet, to all of us. And it just feels really good to get that back. You played second base, obviously, but what are some other things that you did this year on the field that you enjoyed doing from a defensive standpoint? I didn't play second base. Sorry, you played short, right? Where were you at on the field? I apologize. First, I apologize. I'm sorry. Yeah. First base. Was there any other position you played this year other than first base? I catch. Okay. Pretty much it. Yeah. What we just talked to Layla about this, but you get to come back next year as well. I mean, has the discussion started at all about what next season looks like and what running it back would mean? Nothing really. We're too focused about what just happened last week, and nothing has really been talked about for next year. Do you have a favorite moment from this season other than winning a state championship? When I hit 5 home runs in 1 week. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. What's something you'd like to get better at before next season? Hitting 6 home runs in a week? I think just talking with each other more and getting to know like the new girls coming in. And so like they can work with us and we can work with them on being good at like defense and being all close with each other.
Have you thought about playing softball after high school?
Yes, I've been thinking about that a lot.
What's the dream school?
Texas.
Oh, all right. Well, thanks for being here. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's Sadie Harris.
Yes, thank
Even
you.
though you want to be a Texas Longhorn, we do appreciate you coming in tonight. We'll go over to Callie Shuzu, who joins us in studio tonight. Callie, softball, basketball, select for both sports, playing all year round. You ever have any free time to do anything else?
Yeah, not really. Yeah. It's always back
Are
to
you the
back.
biggest reason Layla doesn't want to play any other sports?
Maybe, yeah.
What's the biggest benefit to being a multi-sport athlete at Beatrice?
I feel like it just keeps me going. I mean, first off, it keeps me in shape all the time, and I have like a competitive and personality, and so I feel like keeping the pedal to the metal all the time really helps me out.
What is something that was different about your junior year than your sophomore season for you personally? Obviously, a state championship is a big difference, but for you personally,
Yeah. I don't know. We won a state championship,
Yeah.
but I mean, last year's seniors, we had Delaney Roeder was an incredible leader. I feel like same as Layla, like I grew a lot, like stepping into that leadership role, like
changes everything.
yes, it really does. And so I feel like I grew as a person a lot over the past year.
How much have you thought about life after high school?
What's that?
How much have you thought about life after high school?
Not a lot. I mean, of course I want to play in college. Like I love the sport softball, but
You guys have all three kind of talked about it a little bit, but you all three also posted that video of working with the fifth graders a couple weeks ago and playing the dodgeball game. How important is it for you to get the next generation of Beatrice athletics ready?
it's so important. I mean,
Why?
we did like that day we did a championship walk, just walking through the halls with the trophy, with like high-fiving all the elementaries and preschoolers. And it just kind of showed them like not
You could see
all-
how excited they were to be there
Yes,
too.
yes, for sure. I mean, they were all like, you can tell they just look up to us so much. And for us to be there and like think of them in our championship definitely meant a lot to them.
All right, you can't say the state championship because it's the easy cop out. So, other than a state championship, what was the highlight of your junior year?
I think every game, just the dugout. It's
Sure.
my favorite environment.
Who
ever.
starts the chants? I know there's got to be one person that gets everybody
Me
going.
and Tana.
Okay.
Mostly me though. I
Okay.
gotta say.
Your go-to
I'm
is
pretty loud.
you said that with a giant grin on your face. Are you happy about that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it shows my personality.
What
I'm just a loud person.
what is something you want to get better at before your senior year?
Probably consistency. Just like
In
reps.
what
and,
way?
Like being at like this season, I feel like some practices were iffy and some were like great, and I just want to work to have every day be a great day. I mean, obviously everyone has off days, but try to limit those.
Have you been able to flip the calendar to basketball season yet? Is that something that you've even had time to really even do?
Actually, I on the way here I texted my coach if I could shoot after school tomorrow. Kind of got a transition to that.
Did I get you in a little bit of trouble by having you here tonight? I'm very sorry.
No, not at all. But yeah, I mean, I have my club season, some tournaments these next couple weekends, but then I got to shift to basketball.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you guys being here again. Congratulations on
Yeah,
all the
thank you so
success. That is
much.
the Beatrice softball program. They bring home a state championship in Class B. And if you missed their segment tonight, check it out at soundcloud.com/afterhours1620. It was brought to you by Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. It's fall. And you know what that means. It's time to get the maintenance done on your HVAC unit. Be prepared so you're not freezing this winter. Head over to controlledcomfort.com. Set up a maintenance appointment with Tony and the team so you can have peace of mind about your furnace this winter. And they'll make sure that the warm weather didn't take too much of a toll on your AC unit as well. Check out controlledcomfort.com to book an estimate tonight. We're going to talk to the Plattsmouth boys basketball team. We come back on 1620 The Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Williams Law. You hear Bob Williams come in here every week and talk about the big legal issues facing NFL players or college conferences, whatever it may be. You don't have to be that big of an entity to work with a lawyer the caliber of Bob Williams. All you have to do is head over to williamslawllc.com. If you're facing litigation, maybe your son or daughter got in a little bit too much trouble this summer and they're in some trouble as well, head over to williamslawllc.com tonight. Bob and his team will walk you through the process, explain your rights, and make sure that you understand all of your rights facing you against litigation. Again, remember, head over to williamslawllc.com and book that free, no obligation legal consultation tonight. 7:12 on a Wednesday night of the After Hours Lounge, brought to you by Bellevue University and our friends at Pyramid Contractors. Over a decade of being the #1 roofer in Omaha. Check out pyramidroof.com and book a free estimate today. The head coach of Omaha Central's boys basketball program, Bruce Chubbuck, joins us in studio. He's brought Evan Rogers, Braylon Owens, and Lennox Haynes with him tonight. Coach, appreciate you being here.
Yeah, no problem. Our pleasure.
Last season was a season of runs. You guys win 4 in a row, you lose 4 in a row. Why was last season so streaky at times, but so well put together at others?
Well, I guess the first thing is you look at the competition, who we lost to. We didn't lose to a bad team in that stretch. You know, when you're playing some of the upper echelon teams of the state, you mess up a time or two during the game, you're going to lose games. And that's kind of what happened. And we, I guess the other thing for me is you're building toward the end of the season, the whole season. So, you know, you got to win the games to put yourself in position to be in a place you want to be in when districts come, so that hopefully you can host districts, which we didn't. We had to go on the road and beat Pius, which was, pretty
not easy. Yeah.
Tall task, but we were able to figure it out and get it done. And, I thought if we'd had another month of the season, I thought we'd have been even a lot better. It's just, it took time. We had a lot of parts that came in that we were trying to fit all together in a short period of time. And, overall though, Stu Pospisil asked me this question. He goes, well, given the fact that not many people had you ranked in the top 10 to start the season and you finished in the semifinals, do you consider the season a success? I said, yeah, how would I not?
Yeah, right, yeah. Well, I don't think anybody that didn't have you guys ranked the top 10 didn't look at all the senior leadership you had a year ago, right? When you talk about guys like Dale Ron Thompson. And when you came in last year, felt like everybody that was with you had been at Central for 17 years.
Right.
They're all gone now.
Right.
You get a lot of productivity to replace, including your top 3 scorers. How do you do that this year?
Well, I think, to look at who we've got coming back and say, oh, they're going to struggle is kind of discounting the kids that I do have. The guys that I brought with me and the other guys that I expect to be in the rotation and part of the mix are all pretty good players. Some of them may be unproven at this point, but I don't think it'll take too long for them to prove themselves.
What is this team better at today than they were at the beginning of practice?
I think collectively defense, I think we're a better defensive team than we were when we started the practices in the summer. Just kind of have gotten an idea of what we expect from them philosophically. And I think, you see them go out and try to execute that in the game. I think we've learned to play together well, and I think that'll even get better. A lot of good parts, a lot of different things that I think we're going to be able to do. So I'm looking forward to coaching the group. It's a really good group of kids, not just basketball players, but they're good people.
You've obviously seen what it takes to win a state championship, sitting on a bench doing that. What does this team have to get better at by the end of the season that they don't quite have yet to win a state championship?
I think, the depth, I think, will be a key for us. We need to develop our depth and make sure that we can go as deep into our bench as I think we should be able to. I think that will be a big thing that will help us. Obviously, you've watched us. You know that our philosophy is kind of, we're going to defend you ideally 32 minutes, 84 feet. And, the deeper you are, the easier that is to do.
Absolutely.
So,
that's Bruce Chubbuck Jr., the head coach at Omaha Central. We're going to talk to a couple of his players. Evan Rogers joins us in studio now. Evan, one thing you guys were great at, and maybe even the best of the state last year, was ball movement. Has that been a heavy focus for this team this year? Yeah, right there. You're good. Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of been a big focus. I trust everybody on the team, so I could trust anybody to get a bucket or do whatever they need to, but it's been a big thing. So yeah.
You're just a sophomore this year. How much did playing a year ago help you prepare for this season?
Thanks to God, I got to see a lot of opportunities last year. I got to go to state to see just the experience and the area around it, the stadium, everything like that. So I'm thankful for the opportunity and everything.
What was the biggest, I don't want to say shock, but like adjustment for you going from playing at the AAU level or the junior high level to playing high school basketball?
The strength, the weight room,
sure.
body about it.
Has that been a struggle for you personally?
No.
Okay.
Thanks to the coaches at Central, they helped me get my way to do everything I need.
He make you say that?
But they helped me get to where I need to be mentally and physically ready for the season.
What goals have you set for yourself this season?
anything to help my team win. To get us
Anything?
to anything.
All right.
Anything to where we need to get to help see a ring on our finger.
What's something you want to improve on personally before the season starts?
Shooting.
Okay.
So
What's your go-to shot now?
mid-range.
Okay. All right.
That's open.
All right, well, Evan, thanks for being here tonight, man. We appreciate it. Good luck this winter. We'll go over to Braylon Owens, who joins us in studio.
Before I go, can I say hi to my mom?
What's your mom's name?
Shalon Rogers.
Shout out to Shalon Rogers. Yes, absolutely. Anybody else you got?
My family. Just my brother, Ellis Rogers, and my dad, Chris Rogers.
You can tell your mom you love her. Go ahead.
Hi, Mom. I love you.
Yeah, there you go. Listen, hey, I got to point this out. We've been doing this for 5 years. You're the first person that's asked to do that. Anybody else wants to give a shout out to their mom or their dad or whoever, you're absolutely more than welcome to. Braylon, that's a tough act to follow, though. So hopefully you're ready for this. Braylon Owens joins us in studio tonight from the Omaha Central basketball team. You flip from football to basketball. How hard is it for you to be able to transition your body from football to basketball and get ready for the next season?
I think it was pretty easy for me. I had to stop playing football due to an injury, and coming back, it's kind of shaky, but I'm back now and I'm ready to.
How's the injury feeling?
It's feeling good. I'm back. So
Sure. You're new to this team after transferring in from Norfolk. How has that transition gone, and what makes you feel like you can fit into this team?
I definitely feel like I fit in. I definitely think the coaches have a lot of confidence in me, and just coming to a winning community, is much different. And like, there's people around me that want to win. There's people that have confidence in each other. We all trust each other as a team. So it's just, I think I fit in good, and I think we're gonna have.
What about school life? Because obviously Central much bigger than Norfolk High School. How has that adjustment been?
School's been,
getting more steps in.
No kidding. School wise, it's definitely harder. Definitely, you have to stay focused in the class, or you're not gonna know what to do. So, just me being focused in class is the main point.
We kind of asked this of the girls earlier, and it just kind of organically came up. But they mentioned that when you put on the Central uniform, you kind of feel like you're playing for all of Omaha. Do you get that feeling before you've even stepped on the court?
I definitely do. Yeah, because I have family that goes all over. So, I definitely feel like putting that jersey on means a lot, and having family that's graduated from the school that's watching me this year and next year is definitely means a lot.
Big deal for you?
Oh yeah, it's definitely a big.
You had a giant grin on your face the whole time. Yeah. I love that, man. I love that. What's one thing you want to improve about your game this season?
I definitely just want being more aggressive, getting to the rim when I know I can. Shooting wise, I think I'll be pretty good, and just keep working as the season goes on, and getting better every day.
Could you get a shot over Coach?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Braylon, thanks for being here, man. Good luck this winter. We'll go over to Lennox Hayes, who joins us in the studio. Lennox, for you, limited playing time as a sophomore a year ago. What happened on the court last year that prepares you for this season?
I think the biggest thing was me getting to watch some veterans in the community and just being able to learn from them and having that chip on my shoulder for this year.
Who was the guy that took you under their wing last year and kind of helped you along?
Daron Thomas, for sure. Shout out to him.
Yeah. Hopefully he tears it up over at Iowa Western. Yeah. You guys recently did your Junior Eagles camp. How important was it for you to be able to help the younger players in the Central community learn about Central and what it's like to be an Eagle?
That's a big thing for me. I feel like Central has a strong legacy around it, and helping out the younger community is a big thing because they're going to carry on the winning legacy of Central in that title.
Are you rooting for the Yankees in this World Series?
Of course.
My man. Hey, the fact you did a synopsis of your game, talking about your ability to finish at the rim, take your step back jumper, and the ability to distribute the basketball. Of those skills, what do you think is the most important for you?
Finishing at the rim for sure. I feel like a lot of my points come from that, and my whole game revolves around being able to finish at the rim, and that's a big thing for me.
Who's on your necklace?
This is my auntie.
And why do you wear it?
She passed away a couple years ago.
What's her name?
TZ Tana.
Well, appreciate you remembering her and bringing her in tonight with you. Good luck this winter, man. Thanks for being here tonight. Congratulations on all the success. Coach, we'll go back over to you to wrap this thing up. You mentioned it. You have a bunch of underclassmen this year as opposed to an upperclassman last year. What's been the most fun part about coaching this group of guys?
Well, they have, a lot of room to grow, and it's fun to see their progress. I can speak to these three that I've got with me, not just them. Like, the kids have worked extremely hard this off season, and I think they're probably feeling a little bit like they've been undersold too for what we've got coming back. They've heard all the time, you lost this, you lost that, you're going to be down, so on and so forth. And, as a player, as a competitor, I would be worried about you if you didn't take that personally and say, I've got something to prove. I'm going to show people like, these Twitter people who think they know something. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to show them what I got.
Yeah, kids, stay off Twitter. It's not a good thing. I got to ask, does Braylon now have to run extra laps because he said he can get a shot over you?
Well, I might have to show him some of my old footage. I know. I'm my 53-year-old self. He probably could get a shot over me.
Coach, I appreciate you bringing the guys in. It's always fun when we get a chance to do this. That's Bruce Chubbuck Jr., the head coach at Omaha Central. If you missed the Eagles segment tonight, check it out at soundcloud.com/afterhours1620 is brought to you by AX Plumbing. Home or residential, they can do it all. Check out axbservice.com for all your plumbing, water heater, gas piping, or backflow prevention issues. AX Plumbing is locally owned and operated, and they'll leave your home or business cleaner than they found it. We're talking Plattsmouth basketball. On the other side of the break, we come back on 1620 The Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Cunningham's Pub. It's a Wing Wednesday, and you know what that means? You're going to get free beer and wings on us. How do you do that? You head over to our Twitter page at AfterHours1620. Follow us, follow Cunningham's Pub, retweet the GIF of our wings, or follow us on Facebook and do the same thing. We're going to enter you into a drawing to win a $25 gift card to Cunningham's tonight. Stop by. It's Cunningham's Pub. Grab dinner, grab drinks tonight. $7:27 on a Wing Wednesday edition of the After Hours Lounge, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. Head over to pyramidroof.com. You can book a free estimate for your windows, gutters, siding, even your roof. They can do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com. Joining us in studio is the boys basketball coach of the Plattsmouth Blue Devils. This is Luke Chadwell. Coach, thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us. I appreciate you having us. And I got to give a shout out to my mom.
Yeah, there you go.
She had heart surgery yesterday, so hopefully she's out there listening.
Your mom's name is?
Leslie.
Leslie, we hope you have a quick and speedy recovery. What is different about the 2024-25 team than the team a year ago?
I think our leadership is really solid. We've got these 2 seniors returning. We're going to have 2 more come out that didn't play last year. One's never played high school basketball, but he's a good athlete, so we're going to give him a shot. And then the other one happens to be my stepson. He wanted to focus on running last winter, and now he decided as senior year he's going to come out too. So I'm really excited about our senior.
And
leadership.
You told him no? Like that's not happening this year?
No, you can't do it now. You have a job.
You run a ton in basketball. What you talked about this group of seniors. You brought 2 with you tonight, and you just mentioned the others. What does this group of seniors mean to you?
These guys, so it's my first year coaching up here. I'm also, I serve as the AD, so it's going to be an interesting
doing a lot,
winter for us.
Sure.
So I really like these guys. They have great leadership. They're involved in everything. They're involved on our Academy Corps leaders. They're always volunteering hours. Logan, the other morning, one of our kids who's really inexperienced playing, we had open gym, so he kind of grabbed that kid and said, "You're going to be on my team." Just the leadership of these guys. They're such good kids.
You mentioned you're the athletic director at Plattsmouth as well. How difficult is it for you to be, obviously the first year doing it, so maybe you don't know yet, but do you feel like it's going to be difficult, to balance the winter schedule and be a coach at the same time?
Well, I got a good team. Mr. Halverson, Mr. Tilson, and Mrs. Harvey. They're going to be representing me a lot at the wrestling meets and invites. And
man, we made it to 7:28 before we got a Kevin Tilson reference.
Yeah. at the basketball game. So we've got a good team. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. The managing of the film and then the day-to-day duties is going to be interesting. But I don't sleep a lot, so I'll be all right.
Yeah, most ADs don't. Talk to me about the community though, because obviously we talked about it earlier with the girls team as well. But it's tight knit. Everybody knows everybody, and do you have the ability to step back and appreciate the fact that you just listed 3 people that you can count on to be there for you as an AD when you're helping other young athletes?
That's a great point. It is such a great community, and not only those guys, but the support that the rest of the staff gives us, the administration at the other buildings, our elementary principals at all of our football games, wrangling in all those little devils, and like the pun there.
Yeah, I see what you did.
Intended. It's a really fun community. This is only my 3rd year living there, and it felt like home from the start.
Just 6 wins for this team a year ago. What has been put into place to kind of help move a couple more numbers to the left column?
We have really focused on playing defense the right way. We know there's going to be nights where we don't score the basketball.
Happens to everybody.
It does. And defense travels. That's the old coach saying, right? Defense travels. So I'm really excited about these guys. They bought in this summer. First game this summer, we played Ralston, and we played horrible defense, and we got beat. And after that,
weird how that happens. Yeah,
we improved every single game. They're really buying into what it's going to take to win.
Well, let's talk to Riley Johnson, one of those guys that's going to help you win this year. Riley, go ahead and step up and grab this microphone right here next to Coach. You were 3rd on this team in average points per game last year. Why are you going to be better this year?
Focus a lot more, just like being more confident, scoring the ball, taking the right shots, just doing what I need to do to help the team win.
You're a multi-sport athlete, even if you don't show up for all the interviews that you're assigned to for radio. That's okay. We'll let you slide. Why is it a big deal to play multiple sports for you at Plattsmouth?
I just really enjoy playing sports. I love football, basketball. Get to go out, show what I can do.
Why do you like Coach Larson or Coach Chadwell more than Coach Larson? I mean, you come to his radio interview, so.
Well, Coach Larson kind of dismissed me on the last one. So.
Okay. We'll let you slide that. Hey, for you, I mean, obviously it's your last year in a Blue Devil jersey. What's something you want to make sure you accomplish in your last season as a senior?
I want to win games.
Sure.
Help contribute, make my teammates better, help the underclassmen so that when their time comes to play varsity basketball, they're going to be in the right position to do what they need to do as well.
Coach made a bad pun about it. We'll let him slide for that. But how important is it for you to be able to help the underclassmen under you and the future Plattsmouth athletes?
Yeah, it's pretty important because, those guys always look up to the upperclassmen. They want to be on the court like you. They want to do what you do. And I think they want to take over the role that you have when you're on the court as well.
Have you set any personal goals for yourself this season?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for me, I think, is my confidence.
Sure.
Last year, I struggled a lot with that. So this year, I'm just hoping to be more confident to allow.
Does playing a lot last year help with that this year, specifically that?
Honestly, no. My confidence kind of got killed last year.
Okay.
But I played a lot my sophomore year too, which helped me develop into a better role and know my role, I guess.
What's something that can help your confidence this year?
Just not having a fear, I guess.
Sure.
Just
it's hard to overcome that until you get
doing
out there, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Just doing it and not hesitating. I guess.
What's one aspect of your game you want to improve before the season starts?
Probably shooting.
Do you have a go-to shot?
If I'm shooting, it's probably a 3.
Okay.
But
3-and-D guy?
I drive. Mainly get to the hoop, try and find open guys, but also score.
Coach talked about the emphasis on defense this year. How have you kind of honed in on that? What are you doing to improve the other side of the ball?
Well, last year, not to brag, but I always guarded one of the better players. So
you got the mic. Brag all you want, man.
Yeah. Not to brag, though, but me and Logan actually always guarded the top 2 players or whatever. So I think that helped, and I was able to.
That's got to be a pretty good feeling, though, right?
Coach trusted me to step up and guard the best player and hold him to as least many points as possible.
Well, buddy, we appreciate you being here tonight, and good luck this one. That's Riley Johnson. We're going to talk to Logan Shawzik, who joins us, another senior on the Plattsmouth boys basketball team. When we talk about a tight-knit environment, a community that stands up for each other, and you guys are both seniors, and you've got a handful of seniors on this team, why is this group so close?
I feel like we've definitely grown together through the past years, even if it was through multiple sports.
Riley talked about it a little bit a second ago when he talked about being able to go out and guard the best player, the second best player, and kind of maybe even switch off. What does that say about you as a player that coaches are willing to put you out there on that guy?
It says a lot about our attitude and effort, just going out there and giving our best to stop that player.
What do you want the 24-25 class legacy to be when they talk about basketball?
I want them to just know that it can always start from now. I mean, anything can happen, and just go out there and give it all.
What's one thing that you personally would like to accomplish before you finish your career out at Plattsmouth?
I would just like to make an impact on this basketball team. Just make a little bit of a change throughout here.
What is something you learned as a junior that's going to help you as a senior?
I feel like as a junior, I kind of found my role towards the end of the season, and making that role in my senior year will be definitely important.
Have you thought about life after high school yet?
Yes, I have.
What do you plan on doing after you get done at Plattsmouth?
I'm planning on attending UNO
for
aviation to become a pilot.
Very cool, man. Well, congratulations on all the success at Plattsmouth, and good luck this winter, Coach. We'll go back over to you to wrap this up, and we're talking to the Plattsmouth boys basketball team here on the After Hours show. Luke Chadwell, their AD and head coach, joins us. Coach, for you, how does this team not only win more games this year, but get a chance to qualify for state?
Starts on the defensive end. I'm really excited about the guys that we have offensively too. We didn't talk about that before because defense wins games.
Yeah.
So offensively, the ball is going to move. These guys are very unselfish guys. They have the ability to hit open shots. Hopefully, we can create a lot of open shots. By the way, Logan flies all over the state of Nebraska right now.
Wow.
He's
okay.
A pilot already. It's insane.
So if I need a flight to Scottsbluff, you got me, right? He said yes for everybody that's wondering. It's an interesting dynamic though, because Riley talked about confidence in a year ago. There's a new voice, right? And it sounds different this year. How has that adjustment gone to players responding to a new voice coming from the sideline?
Well, coming in 3 years ago, there's no way I would have been ready to take this role. These guys, having seen them, I see what they need.
Mm-hmm.
They need, like Riley needs that confidence built up. A lot of those guys do. We have a couple of juniors that are pretty solid basketball players. We don't have a lot of size, but we have a lot of length. We have a lot of athleticism. We can compete with these teams, and we can get to that ultimate goal of getting to state. We just got to put it all together. And
to Riley's point, I think just acknowledging that you need that confidence is a sign of gaining that confidence to some degree as well, right?
Absolutely. And this summer, you would have seen it. They were great on the floor. These two came to everything that we had. They were great leaders on the floor. Their effort was always great.
What's something that's exciting about Plattsmouth athletics right now that people should know about outside of basketball?
Our wrestling program is really solid.
Yeah,
they're going to have a nice year. We had a heavyweight state champion in Class B last year. We had 7 qualifiers. Hopefully, we get a few more this year. Maybe a conference. We were conference runners up. Hopefully, we can get a conference championship there. Cross country boys just qualified for state. Didn't have the results they wanted. Girls cross country. We had one girl finish 7th. So
very cool.
We've got a lot of good things going on down there.
The Yankees lead 3-0 in the World Series game right now. Any thoughts on an Aaron Judge home run?
He was due, so that's good.
To say the least.
You told me that he hit one. earlier, so hopefully you can get another one here. I am a Yankees fan. I got a funny story
Same.
behind that, but that's
Yeah.
not for the
Okay.
radio.
We'll share that off air. That's Luke Chadwell, the head coach of the boys basketball program and the athletic director at Plattsmouth. He brought Riley Johnson and Logan Schwazik with him tonight. If you missed the Blue Devil segment, check it out at soundcloud.com/afterhours1620. It was brought to you by Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. It is the premier suit buying experience in the Midwest, and they have all of your needs from sports coats to slacks to ties, even golf polos. You name it, Jerry Ryan has it. From Mizzen and Maine, Johnny O, Peter Millar, they have the best when it comes to the sports shirts you need to fill your closet up. It's Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. Stop by 78th and Dodge. They've been dressing Omaha for 51 years. We're going to win you some money and talk about the NFL. We come back here on 6020 The Zone. Sorry. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Pepper Jack's Grill. We've been telling you for a couple of months now that all you need to do is stop by one of the 10 great Pepper Jack's locations in the Omaha area. And if you haven't had the crispy chicken yet, boy, oh howdy, are you missing out. Brody Heidemann was in last night and said, hey, listen, Jimmy, you told me about the different chicken options at Pepper Jack's Grill. I stopped by and I grabbed the crunchy chicken, and I'm never going back. You can have that experience at one of the 10 great Pepper Jack's locations tonight. Make sure you get some of their award-winning spicy ranch on top of it. It's so good it should be illegal to sell. Stop by Pepper Jack's tonight and grab dinner. It is closing time on a Wednesday night. Don't forget to head over to our Twitter page at AfterHours1620. Retweet the gift for our wings. You could still get entered into a drawing to win a $25 gift card to Cunningham's tonight. We are brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. You can head over to pyramidroof.com and book yourself a free estimate. If you need your windows, roof, gutters, or siding replaced, they can do it all. Head over to pyramidroof.com and book that free estimate tonight. We're going to win you some money. Before we get out of here, we're going to Dan, before we realize that we had more interviews than we thought tonight, we're going to talk about an interesting topic that I want to get to. And there's been some severe damage to the Tropicana Field in Tampa Bay. And the Rays are probably going to need somewhere to play baseball this year. And the lure of playing at the Chuck is a really interesting dynamic to me.
It is, yes.
It is the largest stadium that is not affiliated with a Major League Baseball team in the country. And I think that gives you a unique dynamic where you don't have to have this. Obviously, the Royals AAA team is in town, but not at the same field. And and you obviously have some stuff to work out with Creighton, and that's going to have some hurdles to overcome. But I think it would give you a dynamic where you could maybe gain some new fans, and you don't necessarily have to compete with a AAA team because you're not at the same building. With that being said, I think they end up going somewhere else, but I think it'd be really cool to be able to see how Omaha would respond to one of the big three sports in a smaller capacity, because I think it would do well.
Yeah, no, they would definitely. I
think the Royals would hate it, but I think they would do well.
I think they would sell out a lot of their games. I have a feeling that if the Major League Baseball schedule isn't so set in stone, that we maybe would get a good old fashioned Royals travel to Omaha, Nebraska, and play against the Tampa Bay Rays just for funsies, kind of a series at some point in time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But unfortunately, I think we've seen already the solution for them. And we talked about this off air.
Yeah.
And insider knowledge, I had lunch with the play-by-play voice, Nicholas Batters of the Omaha Storm Chasers today. And he was saying
big time Dan Campion.
That Buffalo Stadium that Toronto played in, he was like, that is a major league booth. It is. He's like, that booth, even for the visitors, huge.
I appreciate the radio edit that you gave us there. We do have to win the folks some money as we send them out. And again, right now the score is 4-0 Yankees in the bottom of the second. It has been home runs in droves for the Bronx Bombers tonight. But we're going to waste some money in the NFL this week. The way this is going to work, Dan and I are going to give you one game against the spread, an over and under, and a prop bet for the weekend, all courtesy of Warhorse Casino and Sportsbook. It feels like the Bengals have things figured out. And I'm going to buy a point here on an alternative line for the Bengals this weekend. Give me Cincinnati -6.5 because it feels like Zach Taylor in that group has kind of gotten some things together. And I think Zach Taylor knows he's coaching for his job, and they play the Raiders this weekend. So they get the Raiders at home, and that line has actually moved. It was 7.5, and it's moved down to 7 now. So you can get that at a point cheaper. I would still buy it down to 6.5. It's something weird about that round touchdown line, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Bengals won by like 13. Just to play it safe, I'm going to buy it down to 6.5 though, and I'll take the under in the Bills-Dolphins game this week. It's 50 points. Bills defense is good enough to hold Miami in check, even if Tua is available. I understand they have all the weapons in the world. Maybe the most underrated unit in the entire NFL this season has been the Bills secondary. I think they keep that high-powered offense in check, and Miami's defense is good enough to contain Josh Allen for a portion of the game. Mm-hmm. So I don't think they sniff 50 points in that game. And you're an NFL football team, Jacksonville. All you got to do, the touchdown total for the Jaguars for the game this week is 1.5.
Oh, wow.
All they have to do is score 2 touchdowns against the Eagles, who, speaking of teams that feel like they've gotten it put together, maybe Nick Sirianni may keep his job this year. But give me the Jags to score total touchdowns over 1.5. That parlay is at a bit of a discount because of the adjusted Bengals total, but it's plus 393 for the 3-teamer.
Not bad.
Dan?
Speaking of teams that we do not think are going to score all that much, Dallas is going to Atlanta this week, and the line on that game, 52 points. I have a feeling that they are not going to sniff over that line in any capacity whatsoever, mainly because it doesn't seem like Atlanta can put together a complete game, and Dallas, Jerry, your world is a dumpster fire. and you have no idea how to put together a team, apparently, even though it's not your job, quote unquote. Under 52 total points in that one as well. And then this is the one where if you're listening tomorrow night, or not tomorrow, excuse me, Friday night, a pick mildly similar to this one is going to show up in the Super Dogs.
Nice.
But give me the Buccaneers plus 8.5 points.
Okay.
I have a feeling they keep it pretty close against the Kansas City Chiefs. And
that line surprising to you?
That
feels like a lot for what Kansas City's offense has not been able to do this season.
Honestly,
I think it's because it's Monday night.
I think it is because it's Monday night. It's a little bit of a bigger stage, but it's kind of like the Aaron Paul meme where they can't just keep getting away with this. And I have a feeling that this is actually the week that the Chiefs might not be undefeated anymore. Baker Mayfield's been playing some pretty great football with the
Smells like
pieces
an upset.
around him.
I agree.
They
got some
weird.
That wide receiver room is banged up, but that's like prime upset alert. When all the chips are down and it feels like you should lose by 30, you end up winning. If you're listening to this on the 6020 The Zone app and you're in the New York area and you hear a gunshot, it's fine. It's just the Dodgers shooting themselves in the foot over and over again. Go ahead, Dan. Sorry.
And finally, it was a joke last summer that we always
fade the A's.
Indeed it was. And now it's time again to fade the Carolina Panthers. Under 17.5 total points in the game by the Carolina Panthers.
So Bryce Young is starting this weekend.
Safe.
Bryce Young is starting this weekend because in lieu of the Andy Dalton car crash last week, which means that bet is probably safer than ever.
Yeah.
I don't care who they're playing, and I don't care that they're at home. The Saints are maybe as equal of a dumpster fire right now. Luckily for the Saints, they're not the Las Vegas Raiders, who's the only team that the Panthers have a win over this season. But Bryce Young is just not an NFL quarterback. Like, how much different, and it still wasn't good, but how much different that offense looked with Andy Dalton compared to Bryce Young. Not a great look for the former number 1 overall pick.
No, it's not. And to make the case for Bryce Young real quick, I honestly think he is a victim of the classic young NFL quarterback syndrome, where he was the number 1 pick in the draft. They raced him in and they said, look at this, a shiny new toy, the new toy that is going to fix all of our ails and our problems. And
they gave up a ton to get him, so they kind of had to. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
They had to, but at the same time, it's a tale as old as time, it seems, with the Carolina Panthers and with just about every single other NFL franchise at this point, that if you rush the guy in there, he's going to look like he's not ready.
Well,
the only difference is that Bryce Young looks completely and utterly unready, whereas Caleb Williams looks unready, but still steady.
Not even that, though. The other problem is the guy that got drafted behind him is CJ Stroud, who looks like he was built for the NFL from birth. So that's not great. But I mean, when you talk about not great, like when we talk about the NFL draft class of 2023, in case you're wondering, it was last year. Those two guys, Anthony Richardson and Bryce Young, who both went in the top 4, that's not a great look for those two guys, especially when you look at the 3 guys around them, CJ Stroud and Will Anderson and Devin Weatherspoon, who have all at this point in their career been first team guys in the NFL.
Have been lovely additions to their teams. And have only improved the quality of football.
And I think that's why a lot of the reason I said first team NFL. Pro Bowlers is what I was looking for, by the way.
Makes sense.
Sorry, it's been a long night, folks. But I think that's a lot of the reason that you see the knee-jerk reaction to pulling Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson ready to move on, because it feels like guys, to some degree, if you evaluate them correctly, and I'm still not all in on the Bryce or Caleb Williams train, but it feels like guys are more and more ready to start day one. And if you feel like the guy you have now isn't going to get there, you're not as handcuffed to give them the leeway that you used to be.
Yeah, and see, I will say,
get yourself another rookie contract.
As much of a Chicago Bears hater as I am, because it's in my bones, it's in my blood, and I love it, and it fuels me. It wakes me up in the morning and says, "This is your coffee. This
makes
is your
piss
life."
hot.
Makes my piss real hot. Which, by the way, John Schreiner knows exactly what that means. Love him for it. I think Caleb Williams is going to work out for the Bears. They're still the Bears.
Well, that's the other problem.
He has shown flashes all season.
It's the other problem with the Bryce Young thing, though, right? Because they gave up all of that capital to the Bears to get Bryce Young.
Yep.
And then the Bears end up getting Caleb Williams for it. And at this point, it looks like Caleb Williams is going to be a much better NFL football player than Bryce Young.
Yes, it does.
Any thoughts on Game 5 of the World Series right now? 4-0 Yankees, top of the third.
Not a huge fan of the score, obviously, because I would like the Dodgers.
You predicted this to get to Game 6, though.
I would like the Dodgers to close it out, but I mean, when you finally get to see one of probably the top 5 players in the MLB bust out of his just hitting slump in general, it's really refreshing. I'm glad that we actually have this World Series now, because to be fair, I'm not a gigantic baseball guy, but I've been tuning into every single game of this World Series.
Shohei Ohtani hit one up the middle last night, and Aaron Judge fielded it. I just went, Shohei Ohtani just hit a ground ball to Aaron Judge in the World Series. It's a great time to be a baseball fan.
It's a good time to be alive in general.
Yeah, and listen, I feel a lot better with a 4-0 run, 4-0 lead with Garrett Cole on the mound too. I mean, you're throwing your ace in Game 5 at home, so this should, it's me knocking on wood, get to LA for Game 6. But this should have been a much easier show. But it was a lot of fun tonight. We had a lot of great guests. If you missed any of the coverage on Plattsmouth boys or girls basketball, Omaha Central boys or girls basketball, or the Beatrice softball team that won state this year, check it out at soundcloud.com/afterhours1620. Our bets tonight were brought to you courtesy of Warhorse Casino and Sportsbook off 63rd and Q. Slots, table games, and yes, that Sportsbook is now open. If you or someone you know is having a gambling problem, call 402-806-7344. For Dan Campen and I've been Jimmy Allen. Happy Halloween, everybody. We'll see you on Friday.